Hello, everybody. It is summertime. Summertime. It is the kids are out from school and we have hot days, long nights. It is my favorite time of the year and we're so excited. Today, we're talking summer related stuff. Why not? We're going to talk about water safety. We are going to talk about summer treats for your dog. We're going to talk about some indoor games. What can we do inside with our pups that are super fun? And so, if you are here, if you're watching us live, please comment and say hello. If you're watching the replay, let us know that you're here and that you are watching us. Today, I have the one and only Katie from, oh my God, Pets Crave Love, which is like the best, cutest name ever. I love it. I love it. I love it. She's in Austin, Texas. Um, so, Katie, why don't you give us a little bit of an intro on yourself and tell us a little bit about you and your three Labrador retrievers? Um, so, yeah, hi, hello. Um,
Hi,
how's it going?
it's good. It's good. Yeah, so I'm Katie. I own Pets Crave Love here in Austin, Texas. We are mainly a dog walking company. We also offer pet sitting and a couple other services along the way. And I am owned by three Labradorables. So they rule my house. I'm actually surprised they're not up here adding commentary right now, but hopefully we'll get through this without their input.
How old are your dogs? How old are they?
I have a 5-year-old lab mix. I have a 3-year-old American lab and a just turned 2-year-old English lab. So he's a little bit short, stocky, a little bit blocky, and the other one is tall. So we've got small, medium, large. We've got the whole selection.
Oh, that's awesome. And so not only do you have a pet sitting company, but you've also done like some traveling. You've done work in agility, you've done some competitive stuff. What's that all about? What have you been up to with that?
Well, I stopped competing about 8 years ago. But before that, I was on a couple world teams with my Sheltie, and it was a lot of fun. We used to travel all over the world. So I and the US. So lots of plane rides, lots of car rides, back and forth. Since I stopped competing, I was living in California, and my parents were on the East Coast. So we would drive because my husband and I would drive because we could bring the dogs, and we would go for a month every
Mhm.
January. So we were driving across country in my little Subaru Outback with a bunch of dogs
I
in the
love
back.
it.
We are seasoned road warriors. But that, I mean, driving through like the Midwest in the middle of winter,
Mhm.
probably looking back, not the smartest idea. But we definitely have some cool stories to tell about that. Just seeing wildlife and stuff, and um,
Mhm.
driving the ice, scary. Don't recommend it.
I know, right? Well, I forgot. So, Katie, actually, you have family here in New Hampshire, right?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
My aunt is in Portsmouth, so she's right around the corner from me.
Woo!
And
Shout
my
out to your
grandma.
aunt.
I know. All you New Hampshire. I'm so jealous that your seafood is way better than our seafood down here.
Oh, it's
Um,
so good.
and then my
Hmm.
grandma's in Exeter, and she's not good with the computer. She calls it the machine, so she's probably not watching. But I'll let her know that I was live in New Hampshire.
I love it. That is awesome. That is great. Well, so let's kind of talk about some stuff. Okay, so it's summertime, right? And so you have three labs, and I'm guessing that they like to go in the water a lot, right? Like their lab, or do they like the water?
Yeah. They
Yeah.
they like to eat everything, and they like to swim a lot. So yeah, they're stereotypical labs, 100%.
So I know, and a lot of our dogs, we have lakes and stuff. We have the ocean that the dogs can go swimming in. And so in the summertime, fantastic for us to get, it's a way for them to cool down. But one thing that we haven't really talked about was water safety. What are some things that we should be looking for while they're swimming in the ocean or in the lake? And so I definitely would love some tips about that, because I know that we're in the water all summer long with our pups.
Yeah. So I would say, first of all, that supervision while your dog is in the water, it's the same for kids, right? So we want to pay attention, because we can prevent a lot of accidents from happening. So I don't recommend, I see people sometimes they go to the park or here we have state parks. We're not close to the ocean because we're in Austin. So we're in the middle of the state, but we do have a lot of giant lakes and all that. So when I see people drive up, open the car door, and watch their dog just book it, and they're miles behind. You don't know what your dog is doing. You can't see if someone has a boat that they've docked like right by the beach, or jet skis, or if your dog is so far away that they can't even hear you. That's scary. So we want to always keep our dogs close to us, be respectful of other people, look out for boats. So if you're there and you're watching, you can prevent stuff from happening. So supervision. Also, I really like life jackets for dogs. Some dogs, they're just not as conditioned as other dogs. So if your dog isn't as used to doing a lot of water activity, I have my little model here.
Oh,
I know, because I did not want to hold up one of my giant Labradors. But what's great about this life jacket is it's got a handle on the back. So you can actually lift your dog up and out of the water if you have to. I also like it because it's got reflection. This one's an O'Brien one. And it's also a really, really bright color. So your dog is more likely to be seen if there's a boat or something around. So those are kind of the features that I look for in a life jacket. I just think it's a good idea. And you'll have to play around depending on how big or small your dog is to find a life jacket that fits. But a lot of the sporting goods stores carry them. They'll let you bring your dog in. So you can go in and try on some life jackets.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. Would you recommend that having a life jacket, even if they're not in a boat, just even if they're just going in the water? So you recommend them putting one on just in case, right?
I do. I mean, it kind of depends on your dog. I mean, if you are very confident that your dog has a great recall, that your dog is comfortable in the water, that they're fit enough to be in the water, I think it's okay to go without one. But I think just one of the benefits of having it on is someone will see your dog. Like I have 2 black dogs, and when they're in the water, it's kind of hard to see them. So if they've got some bright vest on, that just makes them more visible. So it's safety on multiple levels, I would say.
I love that.
I know. And I have a couple other for you. Okay. I always like to bathe my dogs after they've gone in the water, mostly because we don't want to, whatever they're picking up, whether it's in a pool, if it's chemicals, if it's salt water. A lot of dogs get really itchy in the summer after salt water. So just take the time, and also all that bacteria and stuff that's in lakes. I recommend bathing your dog when you get home, and also making sure they're nice and dry, because that way they won't have a chance for stuff to get like hot spots and be real itchy. So make sure you give them a good bath, a good dry, after they've been in any body of water. And then my last suggestion, and then I'm done, is make sure that you bring fresh water for your dog. Some people go to the lakes and they let their dog, or rivers around here. Just bring fresh water so that your dog's not lapping up whatever it is that is in that water. So
that is such a good idea. I know my dog tries to drink the water every single time. And I'm like, ew.
Yeah. Just, take breaks, pull them out of the water, offer them fresh water. If you need to, I sometimes will sprinkle some treats in the fresh water to entice them to drink that.
Okay. All right. I love it. Those are all really, really good. Really great tips. I love it. So now the other super fun thing is summer snacks. I know that you had mentioned that you feed your dogs raw food, right?
Yep.
I've been this is kind of like a personal, being a little selfish because I want to start feeding my dog raw. And so I know this isn't like a raw food show, and we're not going to go crazy into the raw thing. But is there something that you maybe could recommend in the summertime? Like, is there a way to kind of venture into raw food without going full blown?
You want to introduce food slowly. If you have a dog who's used to eating kibble, I would speak to your veterinarian. There
Mhm.
are holistic veterinarians out there that are a little bit more accepting of raw food. There are a lot of really great commercial raw food companies out there that already sell pre-made raw, so you don't really have to do the calculating and the mixing
Oh,
yourself. Mm-hmm.
oh, is that what, do you do that or do you make your own?
I make my own just because I'm feeding about 150 pounds of dog every day. So for me, I buy it in bulk. I mix it together. I add in, all of the other stuff that I want to add in. And plus, I like to know what goes into my dog's food. So if I know where it comes from, if I'm putting it together, then I just feel really good about that. So I would look at go to your local boutique pet store. I'm sure you guys have a bunch of them in your area. Go talk to
Mhm.
them and say, this is my dog. I'm interested in hearing about the different products that you sell. If you want to do it yourself, you can. I would recommend doing some research on that before just starting it, because we can actually do a lot of damage to our dogs if we just feed them, for example, raw chicken. If that's the only thing you fed your dog, that's not a balanced diet. So you want to make sure that you're feeding a balanced diet. So it's not hard. I mean, I can give some resources in the comments if people want to learn more about it. But as far as a good raw snack during the summer, I love feeding raw bones to dogs. So not the
Oh,
cooked stuff that you find on the bottom shelf of big box stores that has been there forever. But usually in your boutique pet store, they'll have a raw food section and they'll have raw bones. So you just want to make
oh,
sure, yes, they're so fun. So
that's
that's
good.
a great summer snack. So you want to
Mhm.
just make sure the bone is bigger than the dog can swallow, so that they're just chewing on it, not just swallowing pieces of it. So
Right. Okay.
but I do have other snack suggestions too.
Yeah. Give them to me. Give them to me, girlfriend. What else
Yeah.
you got?
Okay. I've got props today. My friend Jessica is like the prop queen, and I stole this idea from her. So we're gonna go
Love
over
that.
some props. So one of my favorite things to do is make a little Kong mixture and fill up a bunch of Kongs and stick them in the freezer. So, for example,
Mhm.
I feed my dogs raw, so I can stuff their food in here, freeze it, and then give it out a couple times a day. So they've got an activity to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Stuff that you can put in your Kongs. You can take some sardines, try to get them either without any salt or seasoning or anything in it. Yep. Not gonna show the brand, but we're big.
Feeling one. I love that idea. So raw sardines. Oh my God, the dog must love that.
Yeah.
It
You
smells
can
so good to them.
mhm. You can put yogurt
Mhm.
and cottage cheese. Honest Kitchen makes this bone broth mix, so you can make up some bone broth, throw it all in a blender, and then stuff it in Kongs. You can make a lot of food to get you going. So we do Kongs. What else do we do? Oh, this thing's kind of cool. Do you know what this
What is
is
that?
for?
No, I have
Okay.
no idea.
So I know. That's why we're here. So this thing is actually it's for baking, and it's actually so that you put your meat on here and like the fat drips around it. But
Okay.
we we flip it over, and what you do is you make your own treat mix. Again, you can do that in the blender, and you smear it in here so it fills in all the holes, and then you bake it. And then you've got homemade treats. You've got however many 100 bazillion go in here. There's a really cool Facebook group called Pyramid Dog Treats, and they have recipes. They try out different mats. We'll add the link for people to enjoy.
That is awesome. I love it. I love it.
And let's see,
what other make my husband do that tonight.
Yes, yeah. So these mats are, they're like $2 on Amazon, and you'll get them, you know, right away. But I love it. So,
that's happening. That's happening. And what's so great is that you can make your own stuff. And so, just like you said, you know exactly what's going into it. It's not just it's pretty cheap for the most part. If you can fill that whole tray of all of your own stuff, I mean, that's like what, like $5 maybe, and you got a whole thing of that's great, Katie. I love that. It's awesome. Yeah. I should have you back on just to talk about like food. We should do that. Okay. I'll have you back on. We'll have a whole segment about like raw food, treats, all that kind of stuff. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it goes on and on and on. But I want people to take away from this, just, you know, think about how long the treats have been sitting on that shelf that you just bought, and think of what you can make at home, and it's fresh and you know what goes in it. So just consider that.
I love it. I love it. All right, so we did the water safety check. We got summer snacks and summer food. And so let's talk about fun stuff like games. You are like the agility queen. I mean, you know, so many fun different games and stuff, but sometimes it's hot outside, so we can't play outside. And so we got to figure out something to do with them inside. You know, the kids are home from school, like chaos is going on. What are some fun things that we can do? I know that you kind of broke some stuff out. Like what sort of like enrichment things can we do inside? What is enrichment?
I know, it's this word that keeps flying around.
What is it?
Yeah, what is that thing? It's basically increasing your pet's quality of life through activities, is what I like to say. A lot of zoos do this. So, you know, you go to the zoo and you see the polar bears and they're out in the pool and they're playing with their big plastic balls, or the otters have toys. It's the same kind of thing. So a good summer challenge, I would say, would be to pick up your dog bowl and figure out some activities to do with your dog with that food instead. So when we're doing enrichment, your dog's senses come into play. So especially their nose. We know that their noses are very, very strong. So you can do a lot of stuff. I have a prop again. You can do a lot of stuff with their nose. Have you ever seen one of these?
What is that? I just love all of your props. No, what is that?
Right? This is weird. I actually made this. You guys can make this. This is called it's called a snuffle mat. And what you do is you take little treats and you hide them in here, and your dog just snuffles around. Right. And they're kind of just like a little pig, right? They're like snuffle, snuffle, snuffle. So they're scenting, they're digging, they're hunting. So that's an indoor activity that you can do. You can also buy those. I wanted to make one. I felt all crafty. But like you can take these are some of my favorite treats to do snuffle work with, because they'll like crumble. It's just a can of treats. That's good. Yeah, so they crumble into a million pieces and you just hide them in the snuffle mat. So your dog has an activity, and you'll see like sometimes an enrichment activity can actually make them more tired than taking them out and just running them, because they're engaged, they're using their brain, they're sniffing around. So a snuffle mat is a great way to do that. I have another one here.
I love the name Snuffle Mat.
I know.
Oh, I know that. I've seen those. I've definitely seen those. Love those.
Yeah, so this is actually, it's a slow feeder bowl if you have a dog who eats really fast, of course, labs. But I like to use it in the summer. If you freeze like little ice cubes or little, those little silicone, I don't have that prop here. Those little silicone molds. Once those get in here and it starts to warm up, they actually start to spin around, and it drives my dogs crazy because they're like spinning around, trying to get the treat out. So you can use those bowls also for dinner, but also for that little activity. What else?
I love that.
Okay. See one of these?
Oh, what is that?
Right. So since enrichment is getting more popular, there are all these really, really cool dog toys that are coming out, dog puzzles. So here you can hide the little treats in here and then slide it over, and your dog actually has to around yet.
Look at that.
I know. And this side has like little checkers that are dog bone shaped. I didn't bring them up here. So you hide the treat in there, and then your dog has to figure out, how do I get the treat out? And you can increase the difficulty. So these are really fun puzzle games for dogs.
Oh, that is so cool. So where would someone be able to find those? Just a Google search or something, or like, are there good sites that you recommend?
Honestly, I get them on Amazon, but Chewy.com has them on sale like all the time.
Okay,
so either one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you're not using Chewy.com, you need to be using Chewy.com like yesterday. They're awesome.
Okay. No, that's totally fun. And I also would encourage you to go to your local, store too. Support your local boutique pet store. I do love Chewy. I do love Amazon, but I do make regular stops at my local stores too, just to help support them. And a lot of them give back to the rescue community. Probably they do that there too, I'm sure. So I just feel good shopping local too. But I would encourage your girlfriends. Yeah. Okay. I think this is my last prop, and I actually, I know this is a Foobler. That is the most ridiculous name in the entire world. So what this does, you put in. I know. Sorry. No offense. I actually met them. So when they were developing this product, I actually met them because I used to work for the vet who was the advisor on this project. And they're really cool. They're like techie dudes out in California. So this thing, you put in batteries and you put kibble in it, and you can adjust when it goes off. So like when you leave your dog, they can have an activity. However, I just saw this post on Facebook that apparently a dog got its like mouth caught in this part. So I would just be careful. If you have a little dog, like I might not use this one. But I would just supervise your pet when they're doing anything. I know my labs like to chew stuff off and swallow it. So we just want to make sure that we're not like leaving them with stuff they can eat or can get their mouth stuck on, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so don't leave like a ball like that and then just leave for work. Make sure you're watching them do it.
Yeah,
definitely. Well, I love that you mentioned that sometimes these games can actually make them more tired as opposed to going outside and going for a walk, which is so true because they're mentally being stimulated, right? Like, and so is that like kind of the whole idea around the enrichment? Like mentally stimulating them.
Yeah. So, there's physical exercise and there's mental exercise. I mean, if you think of humans, if you have a really hard day at work and you have a huge problem that you're working through, you sometimes get home and you're even more tired than when you went to the gym for, did that big CrossFit workout or whatever. So, I like to balance enrichment and physical activities. So I encourage people to go out and let their dogs sniff during walks instead of just trotting along at a really, really fast, high speed. So let your dog go out. I think it was Nicole that called it a bumblebee walk, kind of. Was that Nicole?
I totally stole that. And so like I call it the bumblebee. I love that term because
Yeah.
it makes so much sense. The bumblebee walk. It's perfect. Let them
Yeah.
smell, let them sniff, and then go inside. They do not need to be outside for the whole time in the summertime. Like come inside and do some of these fun games. And I think your dog will like it. I really do. Switching it up a little bit, it's fun for them too. It's like they're like, okay, it's summertime. Now I'm doing my summer stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and you have to get creative here because like this weekend we're gonna have a heat index of 108. And
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah, like it
Oh
is
my goodness.
hot in Texas.
Mhm,
So you have
mhm.
to get creative because you can't be out on the pavement. And even if you're in the grass, like we have birds here, we have snakes. So I don't even want to talk about the snakes we have here. But doing it gives me the creeps. But
I
doing
I can't even deal. Can't even deal. I've never actually seen a snake. Like I've never had to deal with that, but I think if I saw one, I would freak out. I can't handle it. Can't
yeah,
handle it. Do you have
they're
a lot of them in Texas? Are there a lot of snakes in Texas? Uh.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know outside of Austin, kind of stay in Austin, but yeah, I mean, we've got water moccasins, so there's water snakes and rattlesnakes and
Oh my God.
I know you just have to be aware and know that they're out there and try to actively avoid
Mhm.
them.
Mhm.
But I mean, if it's hot out and you don't want to deal with snakes, go inside, do some of these activities. You'll see that your dog, they actually really enjoy it, and it's a lot of fun to watch them solve. They're literally just solving problems. How do I get the food?
Mhm.
And it's fun
Mhm.
because I mean, one of my dogs, he'll use his mouth a lot more, and my other dog will use his feet like a little otter. So he'll actually like flip upside down, and he's playing with his
Oh
toy or
my
whatever.
God. Will you send
So
us a video of one of your dogs playing with one of these things? I think that'd be so cute. I would love to see
I will.
that.
I will. Yeah.
Well, so is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you think that maybe we should cover? Is there anything I'm missing?
I just wanted to also suggest, I thought of this while we were talking. Down here, it's really popular to do that stand-up paddleboarding. So you
Mhm.
can actually teach your dog to ride on a stand-up paddleboard and ride in a kayak, and that's a really fun water activity. And then again, to use my prop, if you've got a life jacket with a handle on it, you can lift your dog in and
Yes,
out of whatever you're doing. So that's just a lot of people do that down here.
it's popular here too. We have a paddleboarding company or something like that. And so yeah, that's a great fun thing for you to do with you and your dog, like a bonding thing, right? Yeah, I
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah,
Good idea, girlfriend.
I know. I think that's everything. Yeah, let's see. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I think that about covers it. And if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to
Yeah,
answer
so
them.
where do we find Okay, yeah. So where do if we want to know more, or if somebody maybe wants to pick your brain, where do we find out more about you? How do we find you?
I can't be found. No. I have it. We're on Facebook, Pets Crave Love. We are on Instagram, Pets Crave Love, and our website is www.petscrave.love. Sorry, www.petscrave.love.
I
um,
love it. And we'll link to your website and all that good stuff too. Katie, thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you so much for bringing your props. You are the first person to ever have props. And I think now I'm going to make it mandatory. To come on Critter Chat, you have to have props. I think it's just the best.
I agree. Well, thank you
Thank
for
you so
having
much.
me. Yeah, and
Awesome.
enjoy your
All right.
Friday.
I know. Yeah. Happy Friday and have fun in Texas. When you're here in Portsmouth visiting your family, you're going to have to come say hello to us over here in Portsmouth. All right.
I'm actually going to come for Capone, but I'll also see you.
Good. Good. Sounds good. All right, gorgeous. Have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Bye.